looking at about 70 games. We all know Bukayo Saka's been on a training program, to manage his minutes. He's probably not going to start against Ghana. Saliba's opened up and said, you've got to grit your teeth when you're not 100% fit. Don't get it twisted, your footballers. I very rarely doubt if that latest past the 10-game mark in the Premier League season, let alone all the others. And every week, there's not a player carrying some level of high or low knock. It's football. Pardon me, we all know Timber missed out of the chance of representing his country at the World Cup. Sucks, man, because he's been robbed of the Euros now and a World Cup, and he's bloody brilliant. Arsenal ready to step up interest in Morgan Rogers, with Declan Rice leading charm offensive for 85 million Aston Villa star. Arsenal are planning to step up their interest in Aston Villa's Morgan Rogers and are using their England contingent to help convince him on the move. Go on, man. Villa need to sell this summer to stay within financial guidelines, but have been insisting that Rodgers is one player who must stay and are in a strong negotiation position owing to his contract. Didn't he sign a new one, I believe, in August? Arsenal and Chelsea, allegedly, sources believe Villa may well be willing to talk around 85 million. But Unai Emery's club are well aware of the escalating prices for midfielders in the current market, not to mention the World Cup people. Middlesbrough also hold a 20% sell-on clause, which has been factored into any bidding. Now, you could see this, and it couldn't have changed your optimism whether you were going to sign him or not. It could have upped it. It could have downed it. Obviously, what you can see here is probably believable. Villa need to sell to buy, allegedly. He's on a 5-year deal. He's a key player. English tax. The World Cup rising prices. They are in a strong new deal recently. They are in a strong position. And Middlesbrough would have a sell-on clause if they bought him and saw what he's doing. So it's not really news. These are things that you should be considering when a player when clubs are negotiating for players. And Aston Villa have done very well on the footballing front. Run the Europa League, and obviously qualified for the Champions League. While Villa have qualified for the Champions League, Rodgers is understood to be open to listening to what Premier League champions Arsenal have to offer. The Gunners midfielder Declan Rice has been working away on Rodgers, hoping to help influence his decision. With teammates Bukayo Saka and Eze also in the camp, Rodgers is seen as an upgrade by Mikel Arteta, who likes the fact he could bring further versatility to the front line. And again, one thing that I want Morgan Rodgers about, I think he gets that midfield role at some point in his Arsenal career. Yeah? I think he could actually play with or in place of Rice in one of those pivots. If you named Arsenal's strongest 11 at this moment in time, once again, in your mind, and what you think Arteta would do, so 2 lineups, you'd probably agree with yourself that the left-hand side, on paper, would be where Rodgers' avenue is. But I think one thing that goes over people's head is he's played a lot of time on that right-hand side, lad. And again, I hope we have a world where Rodgers has the ability to play there. We see a bit more from Noni, even though pick him up. Max Dowman's going to get minutes there. Saka's at his best. But I'll be really honest, from what I've seen, if Saka's not there, if it's not Max Dowman, I ain't really trying to hear it. So Rodgers can get minutes there and moments there, as well as providing flexibility and, Swiss Army knife type of thing. Arsenal are looking to add around 4 or 5 quality signings this summer. Rodgers is viewed as a priority, but they also want a striker, with Atletico Madrid's Julian Alvarez admired. They've been offered the chance to sign Christos Trilosi from Club Brugge, but have been speaking to other wingers too. They also admire Alex Scott at Bournemouth and want another defender. Scott is valued at 80 million. The prices are kind of mad. We've been saying that for years. Though Bournemouth are trying to convince him to sign a new contract, or better yet, deal, with the prospect of a release clause being inserted into his contract. Arsenal could sell 20 million rated Gabriel Jesus. 20 million for Jesus. But you're a madman if you get it done. Trossard, who has interest from Bournemouth. Trossard's got interest from Bournemouth. Bournemouth, you got something we like. You got some, we got something you like, and vice versa. Croupy, what are you saying? Alex Scott, what are you saying? But yeah, apparently that's news to us. That's another club. We've heard Villa, we've heard Newcastle, several clubs in Turkey and clubs abroad with Trossard, but first time I'm seeing him linked with Bournemouth and Martinelli. There's also interest in Wanyeri, Christian Norgard, and Piero Hincapié, as Mikel Arteta ponders how to improve his squad. Hincapié would be a techie one, don't you reckon? Real Madrid are not considering selling Valverde this summer. The midfield sell candidates are Tchouaméni and Camavinga, not Valverde. Any of you having either player people, whether that's Camavinga or Tchouaméni? Apparently, Real Madrid want to sign a breakout star at the World Cup. They are closely watching Boadi as a potential candidate to be the breakout star. Now, he's still linked with PSG as well as Arsenal. Sammy Motberg said, if you ask how many people who work in football, they'll tell you that Gyökeres's strengths are one of the reasons why Arsenal got over the line in the Premier League. Facts, mentality monster. Would they sell him after one season? I've not heard that. Arsenal have a long-term interest in Julian Alvarez and a deal they would love to do. It'd be a dream acquisition for Arteta and Berta. If there's any way Arsenal would deem that possible this summer, that would leave a question for Gyökeres. Okay, fair play. Seen that already. What's this? Real Madrid could attempt to sell Nico Paz. Now, we've been linked with Nico Paz and the Arsenal spoken about him. If Real Madrid really want to, use their buyback clause, get him back from Como and sell him to D Shores, fair enough. Because I wouldn't say we necessarily need another creative player. If you've got Wanyeri, for Mikel Arteta, you will use at some point Marino and Kai in that role, whether I like it or not. Dalman long term is being obviously going to be put in that role. You'd have Morgan Rogers provided we sign. You've got Odegaard, you've got Eze. But based on like Nico Paz, if you did sign him Arsenal, you'd have to be assurances of some level of proper football. So we must be open to a guy in that role. But things are complicated. Long story short, this article says, that they want to activate their 10 million euros buyback clause and sell them for about 60 million euros to British stores. But as things stand, everything can come down to Nico Paz and his entourage, as they are keen on staying at Como beyond this summer. If he pushes and puts his foot down, he could yet get control of his career instead of being used by Real Madrid simply as a means to make money. Things are complicated for Como, but it should hinge on the players' entourage to help people. Apparently, Jose Mourinho's side are proven to be a real headache, though. They can now engineer a possible move to the Premier League, especially as Como have been left reeling by the 60 billion euro price tag. Real Madrid also want an 80 million buyback. They're trying to run the maddest of schemes, people. Fair play. But long story short, they're trying to do that. Now, Summerville has been linked with Arsenal. Foot Mercato, not sure on the credibility. Arsenal are among the clubs to have joined the race to sign Summerville. In a sense, everybody's being kept with updates on all of these guys. If you're looking for a winger, Summerville has to be somewhere on the list. That doesn't mean top 5. That doesn't mean you're moving for him. But like these clubs have databases and all those things. So when you actually break it down, it shouldn't really be news. But as fans, Summerville, Arsenal, for whether he's good or bad or not, it provides talking points. But yeah, we're among the clubs interested, apparently. PSG are also following this situation very closely. West Ham had valued Summerville at 50 million euros, but that is now expected to rise after his performances at the World Cup. Arsenal are now willing and looking to add around 4 or 5 quality signings. We've seen this already. So yeah, we're kind of being told the same kind of things, people. What is it? What else has Sammy Motbell said? When you're looking at left wing, that might be the area Arsenal are willing to go over and above what they would want to spend to get the right player. Sammy Motbell said, my understanding is that there is a broad agreement in place with Jerry Munga. The player wants to join Arsenal. All that is left now is to complete a deal with Leicester, but there'll be a level of complication with that. I think there's always a little bit to go for Monga to become an Arsenal player, but I'm pretty certain he'll be one by the start of pre-season, certainly in the coming weeks. Fair play. My understanding is that Morgan Rogers is a player that Arsenal would like to sign, and lots of groundwork have been done to try to get that deal into a position where it's doable this summer. If Arsenal were to formalize their interest now during the World Cup, it's a deal I believe he would like. If a deal between Arsenal and Villa can be agreed, I think he'd jump at the chance to join them. We jump at the chance to sign you. So Morgan, let's get that done, man. Let's get that done. Would any of you sign the Metcha? Purely because of his World Cup performances, but he is a decent player. Allegedly, Manchester City are pushing to sign Felix Lemaitre from Borussia Dortmund following the departure of Bernardo Silva. So yeah, man, I'd be interested to see exactly what is going to happen. Saudi Arabia, they're dying for halftime, aren't they? They're dying for it, man. They're actually dying for it. Could get ugly. I wouldn't mind going for Chiesa as a cheap left-wing option. Now, Arsenal tax shotty Shane, you'll never see him kick a ball. Arsenal are interested in Nico Paz. Interesting. Big up yourself, SR. But everybody's interested in everyone. Who wouldn't? Shout out yourself, Lynch. Krupi, Musiala, and Rodgers, and the team will be an even bigger problem. The dream is free, the hustle is sold separately, man. I reckon Arsenal will get to another Champions League final next season, DG. They'll be hungry to go one better. I hope so. And the correlations in Europe so far have looked good, but yeah, man, if we get to that third final, which I hope we do, we have to win it. Even when they say the team is robbed, they won. The goal now, in my opinion, is to win more than one piece of silverware a season. I'm not sure, bro. I don't think I would, bro. It's like a backup option. I wouldn't force the boat. I'd rather Diamande over Bacola or move mad and get both. We need depth. Diamande's a perfect kind. He's still raw, though, man. And I get the market. It is that now. If you want him, you got to put that 100 mil down. And he could be a real star. He is a star, man. And, we've all seen this. His touch and tribute to his sister, but 100 million. Get me my Morgan Rogers and scouts do their jobs, man. We already got too much people that need hands-on stuff, but he's a beautiful player to watch, man. takes his man on, 1v1 demon, can play left, can play right. Very good foundation, clearly adaptable. Like, again, and I think that goes under the radar, yeah, and could make him even succeed more. Mentality, whatever people say about Victor Gyökeres, one reason why I think one thing that even if we did think he weren't the fit, the mentality, bro, he's been through good and bad moments. Diamante's unfortunately lost his sister. He lived in America, he's gone to Spain, he's gone to Germany, and then if he goes Liverpool, he's moved to several countries, which obviously he's got entourage and whatnot. But sometimes it's just about mentality. Look at Gabriel Magalhaes. Half of these sick Brazilian players, yeah, obviously you got Neymar and this one and that one. Thiago Silva, Dani Alves, Gabriel Magalhaes. You gotta look at their stories, bro. They weren't getting picked up by clubs. A big reason, obviously, I could waffle about Declan Rice's technical level all day, every day. But the mentality, there's an alternative universe where everything Declan Rice can do on the ball and recoveries and all of that, he's got that, but he ain't got the minerals. Why do you think a lot of the time you see some footballers that are very good, but they ain't got the mentality, so they're shit? And there's some players that are not the best to watch technically, but they got the mentality, so they're good. So long story short, sick guys are shit and shit guys are sick. Tell you what, Saudi do look promising on the counter. That's a long throw, man. And that's one thing we need to get into our game next season, man. If we could get the long throws, keep the set pieces, rise all of that. If we could get some real scumbaggy long throws on top of playing some lit football and everything we're doing, and on top of everything we're doing off the field, shit. If you don't support Arsenal, it's long for you, man. Diamande was at Chelsea, by the way, and we let him go. Only God will judge Bluco. Half of these guys have been at trials at all these clubs or rubbed shoulders, to be fair. Like Julian Alvarez, there's pics of him in a Real Madrid shirt. There's plenty of examples like that. Mbappe, Neymar even at Real Madrid. But Mbappe at Chelsea? Man, mental. So I suck it up, pause, buy that thing intentional, eat up the fee. It's worth it once in a while. I just think Chiesa is technically sound and he's fast enough. With a football, Chiesa is cold. But with him, the best trait has to be durability. The record's not good. Our record with 1-2 players. There's a lot of players at this club. We all love, you know. Ben White, I don't want it to go out like this, you know. Part of me is bleeding at the parade because it feels like it's the one last hoorah. He might not leave. And I don't care if he doesn't leave, if we can just get a clean run, but I've kind of seen this movie before. There's a lot of people. We need players that are fit, man. Consistently. Everyone can get injured, yada, yada, yada. We do need to rest players, but yeah. Patting up the likes, people. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, my boy. So, yeah. Campbell was solid. I would still have him in the current squad. Which Campbell? Joel Campbell. Pardon me, nah, G. Scored a great goal against Galatasaray, I want to say. Ramsey did. I'm sure he scored against Galatasaray. No, sorry, he got an assist. Joel Campbell scored a very good goal against someone. I remember. Joel Campbell's better than Marquinhos. I'm never going to do it to Noni. DG, Joel Campbell, Madueke. Joel Campbell, man. Closest thing I got to a Jamaican in the squad. From Costa Rica side. Joel Campbell, man. Joel Campbell. Big up Noni. Noni's going viral for his Vamos clips for England. You know what? Like Noni, he had a very good World Cup game, man. That's the best I've seen you play full stop in a hot sec. And if I'm brutally honest, Champions League final, I felt like something could happen with Noni. Like, you know, when you're watching football, and whatever I think about Noni, Martinelli's got the same. They get into the areas. They have those moments that are going to be in the highlights. I'm sure he had that in the League Cup final too, but I feel like he pissed me off. And that's the annoying thing with, I like Noni. The problem is, my attack to you lot's potential, and this is all from a place of love, to you lot's potential, we're not playing nowhere near it now. We won the league. So I'll big you up. You all had your moments. Well, imagine we had our moments and consistencies. I think Joel Campbell scored against Olympiacos. I feel like he did. Realistically, with how Arteta plays, we need to rotate and sign 2 left wings and keep Martinelli. I reckon Martinelli stays, but anything can happen. Madueke or Gervinho? Gervinho, only because he took a picture of me when I saw him when he was at Arsenal. Only because of that. Only because of that. Because it should be Madueke. But Gervinho, cool guy. David Ornstein, about who? Right, man. Dark for Spurs. Don't do that though, man. I'm not gonna lie, I never said it, but I thought the Morgan Rogers. I still remember going on David Ornstein's account when the Declan Rice thing was agreed. Bergvall informs Tottenham of seek to challenge elsewhere. When you lot told me why do I rate Bergvall, now you see he can get a Champions League club. You cut to Italy, Spain, you'll get rated a lot more in world football. And to be fair, if they get peas from that, they get Tonali. Why are you forwarding that? DG, can we talk about how Kai's a big game player? I have to keep him. Bro, Kai's my guy. He's ugly, but we need to maneuver with him for at least another year. Obviously, certain offers on the table, great, but Kai would be part of my plans. But Kai is, in my opinion, with the Trossards, with the Nonnies, with the Martinellis, with the Marinos, and like, they're valued members of the squad and that, but they're not untouchable. Like, depending on who we get, what players come through, what players on the market, what we try to do, anything can happen. Always got to evolve. Campbell can score, Nonny can't do that. DG itch. Catting for here we go. I can't lie to you. Catting for here we go. I genuinely thought there was something there. Well, I've got time for Kai. Like, again, I do think people take the mundane view. I do like his mentality. I do think he fucking works hard for this football club. In the modern day of this ugly, compact, systemic football, false nines, all this kind of stuff, you could get a trick out of him. And also, whatever I think about Kai or not, I'm not a manager, innit? There's a reason he's won a Champions League and Chelsea bought him for X amount of money and he came through at Leverkusen. And obviously Arteta's bought him. And we've had our moments with Kai. We definitely have had our moments. And he's still a key player for Germany. I can't take that away from him. I can have my opinion.